Yo, what's happening? Happy Friday. I'm coming at you today from an Airbnb in Guatemala City, and the last few days have been interesting. For the last 8 months I haven't left my home at Lake Atitlan in Guatemala, which is a small tiny little village on the side of a volcano next to a lake. There's probably like 1,000 people that live in this whole surrounding area of Lake Atitlan, San Marcos, where I live. And so, yeah, this whole COVID lockdown and global pandemic, we've ridden out back home at the lake. And we arrived yesterday in Guatemala City, and it's been super interesting just to see how everybody has been affected by this pandemic. We spent some time in a mall, which was a novelty for us. It's the closest mall to us from where we live is like a 4-hour drive in Guatemala City. So it felt good to get here. I needed to buy a few more board shorts for training in, and I needed to get some podcasting equipment. So it felt really good to arrive in Guatemala City. But what I wanted to talk about today was, how does the global pandemic and everything that's happening in the world at the moment, all this chaos and changes that are happening, how does this change affect our relationships? How does it affect the people that we're closest to? And how is it affecting structures? I think it's pretty clear to say that the world is changing pretty rapidly at the moment. And I know many people that have had friendships fall apart, relationships disintegrate, and existing structures and power structures and sort of the traditional patriarchal setups are starting to crumble. And I think what appears to be happening at the moment is that anything that's not in full alignment with your truth is, by its very default, going to start to feel the intensity of the global pandemic. And what I mean by that is, when everything is so intense, it automatically starts to put pressure on things that are not fully aligned. What I mean by that is, let's say, for example, you've had a friendship where it hasn't been a full yes for you for a while, maybe forever. And you've been friends with somebody because they're friends with my ex, or they're friends with my parents, or they're friends from school, or whatever that story is that you're telling yourself, but it's not a full yes. When this level of intensity bears down on you, those relationships that are not a full yes start to disintegrate by their very nature. And so many of us are going through some sort of death and a rebirth cycle in the connections that we have, and we're seeing it happening all over. Any businesses that were not properly fully aligned or properly set up in a way that was in alignment with the people inside that business are going to start to see those things start to disintegrate. And so many people may find themselves in this time having arguments with people that they love, or people that they thought that they loved. And I've seen many relationships that have been long-standing for a long time starting to disintegrate. And so what are we being called to do? What's the purpose of this? And I think that this change that we're all going through collectively, what's happening in the world at the moment affects every single one of us. And I realized that yesterday when I arrived in Guatemala City. The street kid on the side of the road is wearing a mask. Everybody in the world is being affected by this pandemic. And so I think what we're being called to do is to really lean into the things that are a full yes for us, and make decisions on those that are not a full yes for us. So if you find yourself in a business relationship and at the moment things are starting to feel difficult and starting to feel tricky, you're going to be called into asking yourself very deeply, is this a full yes for me? Is this a great fit for me? And I think that this is a really, really important part of what the world needs at the moment. I think that this change is for many of us, and that pain, for many of us, if you look back in your life at past pain that you've been through, becomes your teacher. It becomes the very things that you need to learn from. And so I think the best way to navigate this time is to hold things very, very loosely. What I mean by that is, don't try to hang on to things that you think you need to hold on to. Be open to allowing things to change, because by the very nature of what's happening in the world at the moment, we're being called to change. And so if you are navigating something at the moment and it feels tricky for you, you are going through some sort of breakup, some sort of divorce, some sort of death of any sort of identity, maybe it's some personal death, you need to let go of the old version of you that was a lawyer, or the old version of you that was the banker, or the old version of you that was science, that in these tough, difficult times, you really need to lean in and say, do I really want to be that person? Do I really want to be this person's partner? Is the work that I'm doing fully aligned and a full yes for me? And that's, I think, what we've been called to do. I think for a long time, we've existed in a world where we've accepted things that haven't been a full yes for us. Our government structures, our corporate structures, many of those things don't suit the people inside those institutions. For many of us, spending 8, 10, 12 hours a day working on a job that you just need to pay the bills probably isn't a full yes for you. And when everything feels crazy like this, you're probably going to get called in. You need to think about, is this something that I truly, truly, truly want to do? Is it a full yes? Is it aligned with every part of my being? And then have the courage to move from that place, to be able to make a decision that says, you know what, this relationship hasn't been good for me for a while. And so I think that's what we've been called to do. I think it's going to be challenging for a while still. And it leads me into what we're going to be unpacking in a live stream on Tuesday this week. Myself and my partner, Araminta, she is a relationship coach and has been doing work in relationship coaching for 10 to 15 years. She's an expert manifester. She is amazing at navigating difficult relationship dynamics, both in intimate relationships as well as things. So if you are interested in joining us for a live stream on Tuesday, it's going to happen in this group, the Law of Attraction and the Secret group. It's a free live stream. You just need to register. Go to livemoreperfectdays.com/love. And the link to that registration form is linked in the comments of this live stream, and it's free. We are going to be unpacking love, relationships, and the law of attraction. We're going to just unpack some of the conversations that are happening in the world at the moment, and I'm getting a lot of questions from people about, relationships disappearing out of their lives, things that look like they were about to solve themselves suddenly becoming challenging, suddenly becoming difficult to do. And I'm really excited to be able to unpack this because Araminta is a master with words, and she's really, really good at being able to articulate some of the challenges that we face in relationships. I think for many of us, we are not taught how to relate in school. We don't get taught how to have grown-up conversations in our intimate relationships. And I've done one of the tools that she's taught me called RBDSM, which is this conversation that you can use when you get involved in a new connection, and it really just creates a solid framework for you to be able to have difficult conversations with people. And so we'll unpack that and a whole lot more tools in our live stream. Feel free also to write in the comments of this video any questions that you have regarding relationships in the world at the moment, regarding how to use the law of attraction and manifestation to attract love or your ideal partner. We'll be tackling some of those questions in the live stream, and I'm really excited about sharing that this really juicy topic in this group, and everybody being able to meet Araminta. She's an important part of my life, and I think what's been clear for me, the opposite of what I've been talking about this whole live stream, is that relationships that are fully aligned, relationships that are fully connected, weather the storm. And I think if you're in a connection at the moment, or a partnership, or you're building a business that's thriving at the moment, it's probably going to thrive in almost every single environment, because in this difficult time, the things that you're working on are really going to be challenged. And if you can navigate these difficult times with your partner, with your current connections, they probably are a full yes, and they're probably fully aligned. So looking forward to seeing you guys on Tuesday. It's going to be GMT -6, so I think that's Mountain Time. It's going to be 10 a.m. If you miss it, register anyway. We'll send you an email with a link to the replay, and share your comments. Anything you want to know about love, relationships, and the law of attraction, put them in the comments of this video. And I'll see you on Tuesday. Let me quickly show you where I am. We're in this really sweet little Airbnb in Guatemala City, like a tiny little garden studio, but it's got this epic view out over the city, little green belt. Guatemala City isn't the most beautiful city. It's like a poor Latin American city, but this building is pretty epic. Our Airbnb is a little studio, like split on 2 levels here, and then up to there, and then it's got a little like jacuzzi pool vibe thing happening over there. we're just here for one night, and then we are headed back to the lake, and we'll be doing our live stream on Tuesday from our home in Lake Atitlan. And we're looking forward to seeing you on Tuesday. livemoreperfectdays.com/love. We'll see you Tuesday. Much love. Ciao.